everyone, and welcome to Spark My Life channel. This is going to be my second recipe that I will be sharing with you all today. It's actually another one of my favorites because it is so easy to make, and also, as I said before, budget friendly, and it's actually quite tasty. Now the main ingredient here for the protein is going to be bacon. I know some of you might be concerned that it might not be good for your heart and whatnot, but bacon is just so yummy, and you can make it for dinner once in a while. And again, it's a time saver. You can pretty much whip this meal in about 15-20 minutes. And bacon is the only thing that can be a little bit on the rich side, but we're going to use vegetables as well. This is going to be a cauliflower, shredded already, cauliflower, zucchini, and the bacon risotto. That's what I like to call it. This dish was something that I just made up because those were the only ingredients that I had in my fridge at the time, and I said, what the heck, let me just go ahead and try it. And it actually was pretty good, where the family actually said like, ooh, this is really tasty. And so I decided to add it to my repertoire of recipes, and now I make it maybe once a month or twice a month if we're really craving the bacon. But anyway, what I like to use though is really lean center cut, thick cut bacon. I get mine from Costco, and this is just a chunk. Costco actually sells a double pack that costs about $10, I think, and it's about this long and about, this wide. And what I do is I cut it in pieces, in sections, because I know that I'm not going to use all the strips of the bacon, because I find that if I dice it, it's actually sometimes easier to cook. And also, as you can see, this bacon, look at how beautiful it is. Look at all this red, nice meat. It does have some of the white, some of the fat, but as you can see, it's pretty lean, so this actually cuts down also on the fatty portion of the meal. This is the mid section of the bar. Like I said, it comes with 2 bars that are about this long, and I tend to to cut it into 3 pieces. Sometimes 2 pieces, sometimes 3 pieces, depending. And then what I do is that I put most of it in the freezer, and I keep it there until I am ready to use it. So if I'm gonna cook bacon in the morning, let's say for brunch or for dinner, I always just take 1 chunk out and let it thaw out. It takes about 2 hours, maybe less, for it to thaw out, and then it's ready to cook. And also, this is a little bit of a trick that I like to share with you. When I dice it to make it with scrambled eggs and whatnot, I start cutting it. While it's still a little bit frozen, and it makes it so much easier to cut because it is because it's frozen. It's more solid, and it doesn't squish all over the place as you're trying to cut, which you find if you try to cut bacon when it's at room, just refrigerated, it can be very stretchy and whatnot. So it's not easy to dice it. But if you freeze it for a little bit, or you freeze it and then you take it out and thaw it out, don't wait until it thaws out completely. Wait until it's still a little bit firm, and then you can cut it. Now I will go ahead and demo. The camera's going to move a little bit, but we're just going to have to bear with me. Okay, now this is the demo part. As you can see, this is cut. Let's see, so much easier. This bacon is really one of my favorite. I've actually been buying the Kirkland brand for quite a while now. And actually, it's fraying a little bit. It normally doesn't do that, but it's fraying because I took it out and I didn't take my own advice. That is that I didn't start cutting it right away when it was still a little bit frozen. But as you can see, it's still not that difficult to cut. But if it was frozen a little bit, it will make it so much easier. But see, look at that. This is all this beautiful bacon. And I mean, I could easily not use this whole thing for the risotto. This is a lot for me and my family. It's going to be 3 of us eating. So what I do sometimes, I just save a little bit. I just save like a little bit, and I'll use that for breakfast in the morning or something. But see, this is perfect. But as you could see, this is quite a lot of bacon that we have. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the skillet, and I'm going to cook it slowly, drain some of the oil, cook it until it gets, you know, nice and firm. And then I'm gonna leave a residue of the bacon grease, if you will, and I'm gonna add the zucchini, and at the very end I'm gonna add the cauliflower, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm gonna wash my hands right now, so let me put pause here. So for the zucchini, I'm just going to use one zucchini. This should be enough for a serving for 3 people. And all I do is I cut the ends after I washed it, and then cut it in 2 pieces like so. And then I cut it in the middle like this. And then cut it into 3 pieces, and now I'm gonna go ahead and cube it. And basically what this allows it is gives you a nice, perfect, bite-sized vegetables, so that you don't need a knife to be cutting through them. So this is about the size that they come out, okay? So remember, you cut it in half, then you cut it sideways like this, and then that piece you cut it into 3 3 long pieces, and then after that you just chop it to be bite size. And again, this is good for serving for about 3 people. That's about how much the meal should feed, especially because we're dealing with cauliflower that is already being, I guess, grounded, if you will. This makes a perfect and healthy substitute for rice, for pasta, and it's actually really simple to season, and it is really, really delicious, especially when you add the bacon to it. There's just something that bacon gives a great taste to everything. And like I said, this is a really, really fast meal to make, and it's very delicious. Again, you take your bacon, you dice it or cube it, and you take your vegetables, you take your zucchini, right? And then you already have your bag ready. This actually, Publix always has them at either buy one get one free, or buy one and get the second one 50%, or get 2 for $5 or something like that. So basically, and the one zucchini can cost you about 89 cents. So there you have $3 here, or $2.50 plus the $1 for the zucchini, and then you have what your bacon is going to cost you. The bacon costs at Costco about $10. I think it's like $9.99 or $11.99. And again, it's for 2 huge packs, which you can use. I had some of my bacon last me, sometimes a couple of months. You just put it in a airtight container after you've divided them into pieces, into chunks, and that way it can last there for a very long time. And you can just take it out whenever you feel like treating yourself, because again, you can't be eating bacon all the time, even though it's really, really yummy. Anyhow, the next part is just going to be just putting the bacon on the skillet, cooking it, browning it, draining it until it's nice and firm, a little bit crunchy. You can taste a couple of pieces, don't burn it too much, but just make sure that before you add the zucchini, you do leave some of the bacon grease in the bacon itself. You don't have to take it out. You can just dump in the zucchini, let the zucchini cook for about maybe 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Add some salt, pepper, and then add the cauliflower, I don't even know what it's called, cauliflower rice. And then this is also cooks really, really easy. I mean, literally within a couple of minutes. So, the bacon, let's say the bacon takes about 5 minutes to cook, if that. And then you add the vegetables. That's another 3 to 5 minutes. And then the meal is ready to be served. Okay, now the bacon has been cooking for approximately about 10 minutes. I did have to drain it, but very little. This on the side is what the draining of the grease was. As you can see, it's not a lot. And now it is perfect to just add the zucchini. Zucchini is the first part. Now I'm just going to let it cook for about a minute. And after a minute, actually we can maybe have it cook for about 2 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. But the most important part is to keep an eye on the color of the zucchini. Like I said, it starts turning a nice green, bright green. It's a good sign. And if for some reason you feel like you need to add a little bit more oil, you can use some of the residue that I drain from the bacon. I do that once in a while, like if I think, oh, I drained it too much, so you can just do it to taste. But looking at it right now, it looks like it has enough. Yes, if you look at the bottom of the pan, see there's plenty of oil still there. Zucchini is perfect. You can see the green is turning really nice and bright. And now the last part is going to be, I'm going to add the the cauliflower rice. And then I'm going to gently use a spoon like this so that you can flip over what's in the bottom and mix it nicely. So you can see that's a lot of food here. I mean, I would say that even 4 people could eat from this. Okay. So now that it's mixed like this, I'm just going to add some of the pepper that I mentioned earlier. You know, feel free. I mean, pepper adds a nice flavor. And I'm going to add a little bit of the garlic salt. Not too much, but just enough for flavoring. And then I'm going to let it sit there for a couple of minutes once I stir it a little bit more. Look how beautiful this is looking. The bacon is cooked to perfection, just the right amount. The vegetables are going to balance, I should say, some of the fatty content that the bacon has. But overall, it should be a really delicious, slightly fattening dish, but not too much. And again, the key here is to make sure that the bacon is nice and lean. And this is something, again, that it only takes about 10-15 minutes. It's taking me longer to prepare right now because I'm making it in front of you guys. But otherwise, I would have whipped this out in 15 minutes. All right, and here is the final product. As you can see, there's 3 well-balanced servings here. The dish is looking pretty nice. I already tasted it and it was pretty yummy. And for the adults, this goes really well with a nice glass of white wine. And now I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this with my family. If you enjoyed this recipe, please comment below and also subscribe to my channel, as well as give the video a thumbs up, and I'll be happy to share more recipes with you. Bye! Okay, so a brief recap with some tips on my bacon, cauliflower, and zucchini risotto. First, your bacon selection. Make sure that you find bacon that is center cut thick. I would like to recommend Costco's Kirkland brand bacon, which offers a great value for the money, and it's a great product. I've been using it for years. Number 2, vegetables. If you do not care for zucchini, not a problem. You can choose any vegetable that you like. Personally, I've tried that carrots, Brussels sprouts, and I believe green beans have worked perfectly with this recipe, but feel free to experiment with add any vegetable that you would like. And last but not least is the seasoning. In terms of the garlic salt and the pepper, I cook to taste. So I only sprinkled a little bit of both, but that's because I'm used to cooking the recipe already. But for you, you can probably start with a couple of shakes, maybe 2 to 3 shakes and grind the pepper a couple of times, and then taste it and find that if it's too spicy or too salty, maybe you put too much. If not, you can keep on adding to taste. So I hope that you enjoyed my recipe. I look forward to seeing you guys here again. If you did like the recipe, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to receive more recipes, and thank you. Have a great evening.